Hello class, this is my video explaining cube roots to you the easy way. So you can see on the screen here kind of a little clue as to what it is. It says the cube root of 64 equals 4. So this symbol here means cube root. Looks like a square root radical symbol, but there's a 3 outside. So the cube root of 64 equals 4 because 4 times 4 times 4 equals 64. So the 3 4s, because there's 3 of them, it takes 3 4s to multiply to give you 64. That's why the cube root of 64 equals 4. So the 3 is connected to the fact that it takes 4 of the same number to create the number underneath the cube root symbol. Just like, if we know our geometry, just like a cube that has a length of 4 inches, a width of 4 inches, and a height of 4 inches would have a volume of 64 cubic inches because 4 times 4 times 4 equals 64. 4-inch length, 4-inch width times a 4-inch height would mean the volume of that cube was 64 cubic inches. So if you wanted to see a list of the first 1,000 cube roots, you could click this link on the Google slide that you have available to you, and it will bring up the first 1,000 cube roots. Okay, so this number here, these numbers here are telling you what number of cube root it is. These are actually the cube roots. You can kind of ignore this on the side because you can see 1 is a cube, but 2 isn't. So it's 8 is the next perfect cube. Cube, and then 27 is the next cube, and 64. So you're kind of ignoring these numbers on the outside. They're just listing which order number it is, just so you know. Okay, so with that being said, this is a cube root symbol, just like you saw here on the first page. This is a cube root symbol. It looks like a perfect square, a square root symbol, but there's a 3 outside of the cube root symbol. And it is used to find the cube roots of numbers. In this activity, we will determine cube roots and also show the multiplication expression that shows the numbers that multiply to create the cube. Right, example, if we wanted to determine the cube root of 8, so if I want to know the cube root of 8, again, I need 3 numbers exactly multiplied by themselves. So the same number multiplied by itself 3 times, that would equal 8. Do you know what that is? Well, I won't keep you in suspense too long because it's 2. So since 2 times 2 times 2, 3 2's multiplied equals 8, we can say that the cube root of 8 is equal to 2. We would show it like this. The cube root of 8 equals 2 because 2 times 2 times 2 equals 8. So I made this little arrow thing here to help you understand. And I said, do you see the connection with the 3 on the outside of the cube root symbol? So I kind of asked you that before, when I said that it takes 3 of the same number multiplied by itself to be a cube root. So the cube root of 8 equals 2 because 2 times 2 times 2 equals 8. So now you will practice several like this. Just like we did, the cube root of 8 equals 2 because 2 times 2 times 2 equals 8. So we're going to determine the cube root of 27, the cube root of 216, the cube root of 1,000, the cube root of 8,000, the cube root of 125, the cube root of 343, cube root of 1, the cube root of 512, and the cube root of 5,832. So let me go back here. So the cube root of 27. So I might know the number times itself that equals 27. But if not, I have my handy dandy list here. So if I go to 27, which is the cube of 27, I look over here. It's 3 times 3 times 3. So I would go the cube root of 27 is equal to 3 because 3 times 3 times 3 equals 27. So the cube root is 3. I'm going to move that over a little bit just so you have more room when you're trying to do yours. No plan is ever perfect, so sometimes we have to adjust, which is what I'm doing here. There we go. The cube root of 216. So if I didn't know, here's 216. 6 times 6 times 6. Okay, so that means the cube root of 216 is 6. So I would go the cube root of 216 is equal to 6 because 6 times 6 equals 216. And so on and so on and so on. So you'll complete these, this cube root of 27, the cube root of 216, the cube root of 1000, the cube root of 8000, the cube root of 125, the cube root of 343, the cube root of 1, the cube root of 512, the cube root of 5832. You'll complete all these. And then you'll complete 6 more on your own. Okay, again, you can use that list there. So imagine that here you wanted to do the cube root of 1,331 because it's 11 times 11 times 11. So you would say, I'm going to take the cube root of 1,331. So in this spot, you would type that 1,331. And just like we saw on that page, and I'm going to move this over just like I did on the last one to give you a little bit more room. Okay, so that would be equal to 11 because 11 times 11 times 11 equals 1,331. So it might go down to the next line, and that's fine. Don't worry about that. All right, so that is what you will do. You have 6 of those to do total. Again, you can type right next to the asterisk, and of course, if you want, you can actually get rid of the asterisk to give yourself a little bit more room. All right, so with that, I hope that this is a good activity for you. Enjoy.